Hello, friends. Welcome to this next episode on the second act. And in this episode, what I'm going to discuss, what I'm going to share with you from my lived experiences of my own second act. My second act began at the age of 50 when I uh, quit the corporate job of 30 plus years, a steady paycheck, a corner cabin. Everything was going fine, good respect, all the perks. And after everything seemed to be fine, I still felt that something was missing. I was in my comfort zone, almost in an autopilot, doing every day the same things. And somewhere I was feeling this inside me that this is not what I want from life. I had some dreams when I was younger, in college, when I just got out of campus. I thought of connecting back with them, and somewhere it dawned on me that I don't have forever. And that's when my second act began. The first act is all about trying to please the world. It's following the kind of rules that have been set, not by anybody, but we assume that those are the rules. And what are those rules? Those rules tell us that life is a race. We get this from school, right? You have to top the class. Everybody cannot be a topper. And which means life is a race that you have to compete with somebody else. And you have to score the highest grades. And whoever scores the highest grades is the one who's going to win at life. That's what we have been told all along. It starts in the school and obviously just expands when we grow up, goes into the college. And then from there, when we get into the corporate world, we find that there's something called the bell curve. There are some who are on the top of the bell curve. Those are the ones who get promoted. And there are some few who just are the other side and they're said you're not good enough. You're given some warnings and told possibly. And always this pressure is there because every year the reviews happen. Every year you're expected to perform to the needs of somebody setting the tone, your boss, the organization. And rightly so, perhaps that's the way the world is. And somewhere you have forgotten what it was to live your dreams. Let me get back to this story of what this is all about, this episode is about. So for me, the story begins that, right in school, I love the stage. I love to stand up on stage and participate in elocutions and debates. When I was on stage, the world would stop for me. It was like I was frozen in time, and you get into kind of a zone where there's a crowd, but you don't see the crowd. And you are speaking and you're communicating, and you're really in your zone, you're enjoying yourself. Most people get scared of getting on stage. I used to love to be on stage. I would love to tell a story. I would love to share an idea. I would love to enroll an audience into an idea. And that was some kind of a gift, you can say. In Ikigai, this term that is used, what do you love to do? I love to be on stage. I love to communicate. I love to enroll people into an idea just like I'm doing right now. I love to do that. So, in the second act, you get back to that love. Because till the first act, you're still following what everybody has said. You're looking up and seeking permissions. What does the boss say? What do the colleagues feel about? Am I getting the likes on Facebook, on this place? All those things are all about the others. And now the second act. And second act doesn't mean that it begins at 50. It could be a second act for many people. It begins, very early, 30s, perhaps 20s for many. So whatever that age is, it is not about the age. It is about that getting that sense that when I stop following what the world, is just saying, what I'm not looking for permissions. So what do I love to do? So that was connecting back into what do I love to do? And I love to communicate and enroll audiences. That was my love. So that my second act was all about that. And then it has to obviously move into the part which Ikigai has, which is, does what I love to do, can I convert this into some kind of a meaningful profession which will pay me back? Because yes, you have the bills to pay, you have to take care of things. So I don't believe that you just do something. Yes, you need to follow what you love to do, but the world needs it. That's the next part that you have to look at. That does the world need this thing that I love to do, what I really enjoy? And yes, in my right through my career, this entire thing about enrolling audiences, telling a story, I did it for brands, I did it for large organizations, I did it for nonprofits. I was doing that all my career, right? But I was sitting in an organization while I did that. While my dream, one part of my dream was to be on my own, and that's what I used to do in the school days. The other thing I used to do is to sit at shops, different shops, in the vacations. When every child was playing, I wanted to work into businesses and see how businesses work. How do people, sell? How do they interact with customers? And I used to love this. So that second part of my joy, that was being independent and being on my own, that's what I got triggered on in my second act. And each one of us will have something that we have pushed it back, because we get into this ride of the life, as we call it. uh, we're sometime told at some stage after the college, get real, forget all those things that that what you love to and all that. And even though you do that, but focus on competing now, competing with somebody else, competing to climb that ladder, competing to get that promotion, making that more money. Do all that because the world is asking us to do that, and we do that, right? In the second act, what really shifted was I was not seeking permissions. I was not looking to get an approval from anyone. I was just following my heart. The money, yes, has to flow, and it did start to flow, but that was not the starting point. The starting point was, what do I love to do? What is the best thing that I contribute to the world? And asking that question consistently, what is it that I can contribute to my life? And the other important part of the second act was, there is something which is called me. And that me is all about what is that really, the time for myself. I never had the time, because from 9 to 9 I was constantly under pressure, constantly running to somewhere. I never had the time for me. Today, when I'm recording this session out here, I'm sitting in some place in Bangalore. Uh, I've just come here, and I'm working from here. I work from anywhere. So that freedom to just be myself, to enjoy that life, to do what I love to do. And that includes, what do I love to do? I love to read books. I love to learn constantly, something new every day. I always do that. I love to cycle. I love to, take out time for myself, take that walk in nature. I don't want to be in that constant pressure all the time. And that's the joy that I'm finding. There's a lot of meaning that comes into second. I want to build these communities, this idea of sharing, right? Making this video and sharing with as many possible. Is it possible to do it? Actually, my life, last 11 years, I have seen that it is possible to live this life where, yes, you are taking care of the stuff. Obviously, you have got things that you have to pay for. So you have to take care of that. But more importantly, I'm in touch with my heart. It is possible to do. My life tells me that this is possible to do. And I want to share this with as many people as I can. I want to tell you that you can live this life, because I've experienced it firsthand, not for some period of time. Now, almost 11 years. Are there drawbacks to this kind of an intentional life that I'm living in my second act? Yes, there are drawbacks. You don't have certainties, right? When you're independent, when you're working on your own, you are the boss. You are the CEO of your life. Literally, you are the CEO of your life. The buck stops with you. You cannot look up. You cannot look sideways. You can't delegate the aspect of your intentional life. You are in charge, and there will be ups and there will be downs, which is going to be a part of this journey. But the adventure of this journey, the adventure of, since the last 11 years, writing those 7 books I have written. I wanted to always write them. I always pushed it away. I have written 7 books I wanted to write. I wanted to record a song in a studio. I just went and did that. That also is a part of my life. One more thing that I've ticked off. I wanted to cycle, and I love my cycling on the weekends. So everything that I wanted to, build these communities, start writing, I have done that. Doing this podcast, I'm doing this. At the same time, following my gift of giving to a lot many more people. Now I don't just work for brands. I want to help as many small businesses and founders across multiple industries with what I have learned in the last 37 plus years. It really gives me joy to mentor founders. So this is my way of, giving back what I've got, being most alive. So the one thing that I look for, the North Star of the second act, I think so, is what makes you come most alive. And the one thing that I pray is that I continue doing this till the end of my life. I just do what I love to do. I just do what brings me most alive till the very end of my life, till the time I can do this. So if I have to, encourage anyone who's a youngster, 20 years, if I had to write a note to myself, some years back, or if I'm talking to you sitting there, who is looking at, is this possible to do? I would say yes, there are things that you have to take care of. There are steps. If you follow things that I'm sharing, yes, there are steps that you do. You go through certain journeys, you go through the ups and downs. But this is an intentional life, the way it was designed. It was never designed. It's never designed to compete with anyone. We are not designed to be in a race all the time. We are not designed to be on a treadmill that goes nowhere and keep on running all the while. You can take out this time like I'm doing right now. And the interesting part of this entire journey for me has been I have been taken care of by living this intentional life. So, if I have to leave you with that message, don't postpone this. Reflect on this idea. And you can be living an intentional life sitting in a job. If you find that organization, if you find that culture, if you find those people, you can be living that intentional life anywhere. But if you feel that your Monday mornings, you just don't want to go to work, if you find that every Sunday you feel the pressure of getting up on the Monday mornings, and if on the weekends you are having this feeling, thank God it is Friday, it is time to look, because life is not forever. Every day counts. We just have limited time here. So let's do the best, live our best lives. That is what an intentional second life is all about. That's what I feel. That's the message that I want to leave you. Let's not waste a single day of